Welcome back to the Underground Cookery School fortnightly video podcast. Today we're going to do chocolate torte, a recipe that has been on the menu since we started. The first job is we need to prepare the tin. You need a spring-form tin so that when you open it up it releases. And I'm just going to rub a little bit of butter into the base and round the edge. Now you don't want so much butter that you can actually see it. You just want to grease it because you don't want it to affect the recipe. So that's what we're really looking for. And if I just put a bit of cocoa powder in here, I'm just going to dust that round the tin, round the edge like that. And the idea obviously is that when you put the mix in, it's not going to stick to the tin, but it's going to be able to fall out and go onto your guest's plate. Over here I've got a pan of boiling water and I'm going to put a stainless steel bowl, and on top of that a measure of chocolate. We've actually got 200 grams there and 150 grams of diced butter, and the idea there is just to combine both of those together. I've got these lovely eggs here, and we're going to put the whites in here. Here we go. This is sort of the quick way of doing it. You just pass it through your hand. We'll put the yolks in there. Keep going. I'm going to do 5 of these. So we've got the egg whites here. I'm going to add 120 grams of sugar, which are going to go straight onto the egg white. And then I'm going to throw all of those into that pan, and I'm now going to just blitz up with the, or whisk I should say, the egg whites. So actually Pete, if you have a quick look at the egg whites now, and then when you come back you'll see what they look like when they've been perfectly whisked. Right, so the whites are now pretty much perfectly whisked together. You can tell that because I could stick that over my head, but to give you a more sensible idea, I'm going to show Pete exactly what they look like. It's important to do the whites first, because if you get yolk in the whites they won't peak properly, but if you get whites in here, it doesn't make a great deal of difference. All you're doing is just putting a little bit more air in. So remember, in here I've got these lovely yolks and the sugar, and I'm just going to whisk those up. So that's 5 yolks and about 120 grams of sugar, and I'm just going to give that a good old mix. Right, those yolks and the sugar are now beautifully mixed. So again, I'm just going to let you have a little peek at that. So this recipe is really just about understanding 3 textures. You've got the yolks and the sugar, you've got the egg whites, and let's just go and have a look at the chocolate, because that now, over the bain-marie, in France that's called a Mary's bath. You've got the chocolate and butter beautifully combined. What we're going to do now is throw all 3 together, and I have a large bowl here which makes life much easier. So I'm going to take the chocolate and the butter and pour that straight into there. I'm going to take the egg yolks and the sugar, just whisk that together, and then finally I'm going to fold in the whites like this. So just give them just get them going, and then almost sort of flick them over. Try and keep as much of the air as you possibly can in what you're doing. Just for the sake of speed, I'm going to do it in 2 batches, but generally it's better to do it as 4. My mum at this point would probably go, well, why didn't you show them, you know, to doing it 4 ways? But so sorry, Mum, but there you go. Just keep mixing until you end up with a nice smooth texture. So that's going to go in the oven. What you can do is pour the mix straight into a ramekin or a wine glass, grate some chocolate on top, stick it in the fridge, and you've got a lovely chocolate mousse. But this is going to go straight into the oven, and we're going to stick that in at 150 degrees. In about 40 minutes time we'll come back and it will have souffled up. So the chocolate torte's been in the oven now for about 40 minutes, but everyone's oven is different, so don't ring me up if you look at your watch in 40 minutes and it's not done. I'm not going to help you. Anyway, right, so out this comes. That's our chocolate torte. Don't worry too much if it's a little bit cracked. It's going to crack further. How do we know it's cooked all the way through? I have a toothpick here, and if I slide that in and take it out, the toothpick is completely clear. If it had chocolate mousse all over it, clearly it wouldn't be set. Right, the big thing about baking stuff is you need to let it rest for a few minutes. You need to let anything that's been in the oven rest for a few minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in about 10 minutes. It would have sunk, and then we can portion it up and make it look lovely. Right, so we've left this for about 15 minutes, which is always a good amount of time. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the buckle off, and you should find that because we greased the tin, look at that, marvellous, it just slips straight out. Now, here's a thing or two about how to cut a cake up. You don't want to give one person a really large piece and then the person next to it a small one, because then they'll go, what, am I fat or something? And they'll get really annoyed with you. So if you cut it in half like that and then cut it in half again, you can then do each slice sort of accordingly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for 2, 4, 6, so we get 8 slices out of this. So just going to add a little quenelle of cream. I've got some icing sugar here, and I'm just going to add that. And there you have your chocolate torte with whipped cream.